Hi students, how are you? It's Pete Posner here at Big Break English, your British English teacher. And in today's lesson, we're going to look at IELTS Speaking Part 3, and we're going to learn how to use modal verbs in the past. Okay, so could, couldn't, had to, didn't have to. When you get a question about the past, how can we use these modal verbs? Okay, and by the way, if you want to download my free ebook, 12 Tips for Scoring Higher in IELTS Writing Task 2, then go to the link in the description of this video and you can download it absolutely free. Okay, guys, here's a question. Okay, look at the picture. All right. How has technology changed the way we live? Okay, listen to a model answer to the question below. What positive aspect of the internet does the speaker give? And what negative aspect does he give? Okay, I'm the speaker. Okay, so listen to my answer to this question and can you answer those two questions? Okay, here we go. Okay, that's a really interesting question. So, technology has changed the way we live in many ways, I think. And one major cause of this is the internet. So, for example, the way we access information is a lot different today than in the past. For example, in the past, we could go to the library, do some research, borrow a book, but we couldn't access the internet. We couldn't go from one web page to another web page to a third web page, accessing all this information in a short period of time from our homes. On the other hand, a real negative aspect of the internet is that it's a space where some pretty bad things can happen, like, for example, grooming. So, in the past, children had to avoid talking to strangers in the street, but they didn't have to worry about meeting people on the internet that had bad intentions, people who these days can hide their real identity and start this process of grooming. So that's really a negative side to uh, the internet. But I think in general, the internet has really changed the way we live our lives today. Okay, let's look at the answers. Okay, so what positive aspect of the internet did I give? Okay, well, you can obtain a lot of information very quickly on the internet. And what negative aspect did I give? Well, unfortunately, on the internet, there are some people who groom children. That's a very negative aspect. Okay, so now let's look at how I used could, couldn't, and had to, didn't have to in my answer. First, could, couldn't. We use could, couldn't to talk about things that were possible or not possible in the past. Okay, the form is could or couldn't if it's negative, plus the infinitive without to. For example, I said in my answer, we could go to the library and borrow a book. So that was possible, okay? But we couldn't access the internet. That wasn't possible, okay? And again, it's could or couldn't plus the infinitive without to. So could go, right? And couldn't access. So not to go or to access, without to, okay? Now, what about with had to, didn't have to? We use had to or didn't have to talk about past obligation. Okay, so if we say we had to do something, that means that was necessary. It was an obligation. If we say we didn't have to do it, we're saying it was not necessary. It was not an obligation. the form is had to or didn't have to plus the infinitive without to. For example, children had to avoid talking to strangers on the street. That was necessary in the past. But they didn't have to worry about meeting people on the internet that had bad intentions. That wasn't necessary because there was no internet. Okay. And yes, so again, the form, so children had to avoid. So avoid is the infinitive without to. They didn't have to worry. So again, worry, the infinitive without to. Okay, let's do a little bit of practice. Okay, so complete these sentences. Use could or couldn't, or had to or didn't have to, plus one of the verbs in the box. Example, we could go to the library and borrow a book. Okay, so here we've got we to the library. So what verb? I look for the verb go to the library. Okay, and then it's could or couldn't. In the past, we could. Yeah, we can now, and we could in the past. So it's we could go to the library and borrow a book. Okay, so now do the same with 1, 2, 3, and 4. Take 2 minutes, and then we'll check together. Okay, so pause the video now. Okay, how did you do? Number 1, before the rise of the internet, about cyber attacks. Okay, so we didn't have to worry, right? We didn't have to worry about cyber attacks because there wasn't an internet for cyber attacks. Okay, we didn't have to. Okay, and then the infinitive without to, worry. Okay, so that was something that was not necessary. Okay. Number 2, before email, we move this up here. Before email, we longer for our email to arrive. Okay. So email is very, very fast, right? But before email, we had to wait longer for our email to arrive. Okay, so it's had to, it was something that was necessary. And then the infinitive without to, wait. We had to wait longer for our email to arrive. Number 3, before smartphones, we free international phone calls. So with smartphones today, we can make free international phone calls, but in the past, before smartphones, right, we couldn't make free international phone calls. Today we can do that with WhatsApp, for example. Okay, and 4, before multitasking became the norm, we better on one task. Okay, so we could concentrate. That was possible, right? So we could concentrate better on one task. Okay, guys, so it's your turn. What are your own ideas on this topic? Okay, the same question. How has technology changed the way we live? What could and couldn't we do in the past? What did we have to and what didn't we have to do? Okay, so use these structures in your answer. Okay, and write your answers in the comments section of this video. Okay guys, that's all for today. I hope you found that useful. Remember to share the video if you liked it, and also remember to download my free ebook. Okay, go to the description and you can find a link to my free ebook 12 tips for scoring higher on IELTS writing task 2. Okay, absolutely free, my gift to you. Okay, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.